Alright, hello everybody. My name is Ashish Kulkarni and we've got a lot to do in today's video. We've been building up towards it for the last couple of videos and we finally have laid the background for us to be able to learn all of what we are going to be learning in today's video. Namely, we're going to learn how to work with data validation, we're going to learn how to work with named ranges, the VLOOKUP formula, the HLOOKUP formula and the index function. With one minor disclaimer, if I think that the video is becoming far too long for all of these topics to be covered in one single video, I might choose to cover at least the last part, the culmination so to speak, in a separate video. We'll see how we go, but we are definitely going to be doing data validation, named ranges and at least VLOOKUP in this video, more if time permits. Let's get started. So if you've been following the videos that we've been preparing so far, you should have this particular file ready to go with you. If not, please take a look at the previous videos. I'll link to them in the description box. You might be able to click on them and take a look at the previous video. What we have done is we have created monthly data for 1000 students and monthly data beginning the 15th of January and going up on until April 2020. And for these, roughly speaking, 60 months or so, we have information randomly generated for 1000 students. Doesn't really matter for our purposes what this information is. Series of numbers in rows and columns. We have a table and that's enough for a data analyst to get started. So what are we going to get started with? What we're going to get started with is the following. What we would like to do is we would like to have a user choose a student, choose a particular month, and for that student, for that particular month, we would like to say, for example, record hours attended, which is, let's assume what these values are. So student 1 in the month of January 2015 attended 69 hours of classes and so on and so forth. So long story short, we should be able to write, say for example, student 345 over here. We should write down the month over here, say for example April 2018, and as soon as I do this, I should be able to get hours attended over here. How does one actually go about doing something like that? You might appreciate the difficulty of the problem, because if I go and take a look at row number 345, and for 345 I will have to then manually scroll up until I find that particular month, April 18 I think it was, and then for that month I will need to look up the particular value. So rather than I manually having to do all of this, that answer should pop up over here automatically. That's the idea, that's the objective. And in order to do this, in order to achieve what I just described, we are going to take the help of data validation, named ranges, VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP and the index function. Beginning with data validation. Now what is data validation? What I want to do is create a drop down box over here. Students names, student 1, student 2, student 3 should appear over here in a drop down box, and I should be able to choose a student from the drop down box rather than have to type it out manually over here. How do we do that? We click on data. Within data, we go to data validation, which is this little icon over here. It appears under data tools. The layout might be slightly different in your case, but just look up data validation, and within data validation, click on data validation. Allow list source in this particular case is student 1 through student 1000. Believe it or not, it is that simple. Go to data. On data, click on data validation, choose data validation, allow list, choose the source. And I'm not joking, it really is that simple. We have created a drop down list over here of all 1000 students. And similarly, let's get a list out over here for months. So once again, I go to data validation, allow list. Source in this case of course becomes this, which is a useful exercise to do, because you know that the list can either be horizontally or vertically arranged, and we have the drop down list here as well, right? Works like a charm. So if I want to find out number of hours attended for student 994 for the month of May 2015, then I should be able to get automatically hours attended over here. This is data validation. Check. Alright, now what are named ranges? What Excel allows you to do is you can choose an array say for example the array that I'm about to choose right now. And once I've selected this entire array, which is the whole table as you can see, except for the column and row headings, I can call this entire array by a name. That name can be given in the name box, which is this little box that appears over here. I will call this hours attended So if I write down over here is equal to sum hours attended, this entire range gets selected, and that number doesn't make much sense. What I wanted to do was show you, rather than having to manually select a table every time, I can just write down the name of the range. Yeah, and that allows me to select that entire range automatically. All named ranges are always available under the formulas tab in Name Manager. All tables also, by the way, automatically get their own named range, but what we want over here is hours attended. I can select this, I can edit it, I can delete it, and I can create a new named range over here. This named range is going to come in fairly useful for us in just a little while, but for the moment we have now understood how to use named ranges. Select a particular array and give it a name in the name box. Alright, now what we would like to do is have the computer understand that student 994 effectively means we need to be taking a look at the row associated with student 994, number one. And number two, we want the computer to be able to understand that the entry May 15 over here means we need to be taking a look at this column. And long story short, what we want is the intersection of that row and this column. So that it all fits on one screen, let's use a simpler example right now. Let's go with, say for example, student 3. So student 3 means this row and May 15 means this column. And hours attended, of course, lies at the intersection of this row, the one that is highlighted, and this particular column. And so what should come up over here automatically is the number 96. But for us to be able to do that, we need to help the computer understand that student 3 really means row number 3 in this particular row. In order for me to be able to work with this, I'm going to modify the table just a little bit. Those people who are watching this video and know their Excel in and out will know that there are a couple of other ways to do this as well. I'm using the simplest, if a slightly inconvenient version right now. But in order to do so, let me quickly insert a row over here and call this, say for example, RI for row index. I'll enter 1, 2, 3 and autofill this series. Yeah. And also I'll insert a row over here. I'll call this CI to mean column index and give this also an index 1, 2, 3. Please don't worry about the slightly weird looking, oops, my fault, slightly weird looking values over here. That's just because Excel is assuming that this is meant to be a date format. Of course it's not. So what we will do once we have filled all this up is right click, go to format cells, go to number and choose 0 decimals, right? And we have our usual numbers. Alright, so all we have done is we've added a row index and a column index. Now let's get started. What we want to do is we want a way to tell Microsoft Excel that student 3 means row 3, student 14 means row 14, and so on and so forth. Now, how do we get Microsoft Excel to understand this? That when a user enters one particular value over here, whatever that value may be, that value as far as Excel is concerned really ought to be row 79 in this particular case, and so on and so forth. So how do we make Excel understand this? We use a formula called the VLOOKUP formula. What is the VLOOKUP formula? A useful thing to keep in mind, whenever you enter a formula in Microsoft Excel, say for example as I have right now, is equal to VLOOKUP, and I enter the first bracket, Excel shows me the arguments of the function, the inputs that are required in the function. The inputs that are required for this particular function, the VLOOKUP function, to work are the lookup value, the table array, the column index number, and something known as range lookup. These names might look confusing the first time you look at them, so I'm going to simplify this. I'm going to use plain simple English to help you understand what each of these mean. Here we go. When I write is equal to VLOOKUP bracket open, the first thing that Excel does is it says, all right, I've understood that you want to use the VLOOKUP formula. Tell me what is it that you want me to search for. So when Excel is asking for the first argument or the lookup value, it is asking for what cell should I look at to understand what you want to be searched. We want this value to be searched. So I say to Excel, look up whatever it is that is written in cell A3. So Excel says, gotcha, you want to use VLOOKUP and you want to look up whatever is written in cell A3. Where should I look in terms of finding out whatever is written in cell A3? A3 में जो लिखा है वो ढूंढना है, बस कहाँ पे ढूंढना है? I've understood. Excel says that I need to search for whatever is written in cell A3. Where should I be searching for it? So I say to Excel that you should be searching for it over here. Right, cool. So we've got 66 columns and we've got 1000 rows. That is where we want Excel to search. So we want Excel to search whatever is written in A3, where in this big table that is called the table array. Note that I could have given this a name right now using named ranges, but I've chosen not to. I will do so, however, in the case of HLOOKUP. Now, one limitation of the VLOOKUP formula is that VLOOKUP will look for whatever it is that you've asked it to search only in the first column of the red rectangle. So for whatever reasons, Excel says, all right, cool, I look for whatever is written in cell A3 in that big red rectangle, but within the big red rectangle, I will search for it only in the first column. Okay, so it starts searching for student 79 in the big red rectangle ka first column, and it asks, once I have found it, once I have found whatever is written in cell A3 in the red rectangle ka first column, then I know, for whatever reason, you are immensely interested in this particular row, in this row. But within this row, the row in which student 79 is mentioned, which column is of interest to you? Now remember, we want Excel to understand that the value student 79 means the 79th row. Where is this information written? This information is written in the second column over here, 79. So we say to Excel, boss, which column is important to me in the red rectangle? The second column. Not the first, but the second. And finally, range lookup, if you will note, is written in square brackets. That in the world of Excel means it's an optional argument. But really what it is asking for over here is whether we want an approximate match or an exact match. If you're searching for student 62, will student do or does it have to be student 62? Because we're using drop-down arrays, there is never any confusion or a chance of a spelling mistake. It is always going to be an exact value. So we choose false or 0. And in English, what we've asked Microsoft Excel to do is for Excel to search for whatever is written in cell A3 in the big red rectangle, in which VLOOKUP will search only in the first column. Having searched in that first column of the big red rectangle, it asks within that row which column. We say second column, and we want an exact match. Now if everything has worked out correctly, as soon as I hit enter, I should be able to see the value 79. So let's find out if it has actually worked the way we had hoped or not. And it's worked. We get the value 79 over here. Now we also need to do something similar for HLOOKUP. But in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to first select the entire table and give it a name so that we can make use of that concept that we spoke about earlier. And I will give this entire thing, the entire range, the name HLOOKUP input. Okay. Now entering the HLOOKUP formula becomes simple. By the way, VLOOKUP stands for vertical lookup. HLOOKUP, obviously, stands for horizontal lookup. So under HLOOKUP, we say search for this value, search for it where? In HLOOKUP input, automatically the entire array gets selected. So if you will remember, VLOOKUP we did without named ranges, HLOOKUP we did with named range. I argue it becomes easier to do it with a named range, but it's entirely up to you. Comma 2 because we want the second row, which is where the row index number is mentioned, comma 0. And there's an error, which is on the face of it a good thing. The reason it's a good thing is because unfortunately I have made a mistake in my HLOOKUP input. I have asked it to search for May 15, but the entire row has been defined without including the row in which the months are written. This is where named ranges come in useful. We need to include this row, which is row number 7. So I go to the formulas tab, go to name manager, choose this and click on edit. And I say that in this case, what I wanted to do is I wanted to refer to from table 2 over here onwards. Yeah, so don't worry if sometimes the name range throws up an error, as in my case it did. Excel is a fairly forgiving program. You just need to figure out what mistake you have done, and changing it or adjusting for it becomes fairly easy. Alright, should work now. So if I click on OK and I click on close, and if I've done this correctly, HLOOKUP should give me the correct result. And it does. May 15 means the 5th month. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so anytime I enter any value over here, I can enter, say for example, 253. This changes to 253. I can change this to any month that I desire. Say for example, October 17, and this changes to number 34. Great. So that's HLOOKUP and VLOOKUP done. That leaves only one thing to be done, and I know the video is slightly longer than the usual case, but let's quickly finish index now that we are almost through with every single concept that we said we would cover. All that we need to do now is say OK is equal to index, right? And over here, I'm going to choose the row that, or rather the example that I used earlier. If you will recall, under name manager, we have already chosen hours attended. That is the array that I'm going to use as an input in the index function. Which is this entire array. There's a bit of a problem over here in the sense that we have chosen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as well. So I will need to edit or amend hours attended just a little bit. Cool. The reason we needed to amend this is because we had that initial row inserted for row index. This particular row. Because of this, the hours attended table array would have ended up being a little bit off. But now we go to index, hours attended, and within hours attended, which row do we want? We want row number 253. Which column do we want? We want column number 34. And voila, we get the fact that student 253 attended 49 hours of classes in the month of October 2017. Now, checking this is a little difficult given how big our table is. So let's deliberately work with this example. If I do it correctly, I should get the number 29 over here when I change this to student 2 and I change this to August 15. And I do. This ends up being 29, which is what is written over here. It simply is the intersection of the second row and the 8th column. All that the index function does is it gives you whatever values to be found at the intersection of the nth row and the kth column. That's it. That's how you get 29 over here. Now with all videos, don't think of it only in terms of the example that I have shared with you. If you have a table and you want to extract a value lying at the intersection of a particular row and column, then you can use the HLOOKUP formula, the VLOOKUP formula, and the index formula as we just described. So in the last two videos, we've actually done a fair bit of work. We've learned how to enter dates, enter series, enter random numbers, pay special values, how to format as a table and enter a sheet. Along with that, in this video, today's video, we've learned data validation, named ranges, VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, and now finally, we've learned the index function. Alright, today's video was especially long and contained a lot of things. If you like, go over the video a couple of times, and as always, please feel free to either drop me a comment in the comment section below or drop me a mail at ashish@econforeverybody.com and I'll try and address your questions. Tomorrow, we will take a look at what else the pay special dialog can do. But for the moment, we'll stop with Excel over here. And my song recommendation for the day is one of my all-time favorite Hindi songs, Zindagi Ka Saath Nibhata Chala Gaya. Rafi on top form. The movie was great. Devanand was fantastic. But Mohammed Rafi is the kind of singer that we'll probably never, ever, ever again see in our entire lives. And if you want to get a sense of what the man was capable of, this song is as good as any I've heard. Alright. Thank you for listening. Thank you for viewing. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.